Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be a fitting guide on our pyramid belly pan for the Honda CB1000 Hornet. I'm going to show you how it fits, show you what tools you need, and just show you that it's quite an easy belly pan to fit overall. The tools you'll need for the job is a 17mm spanner for the O2 sensor. You'll need an 8mm spanner, a 4mm Allen key, and an 8mm socket with a ratchet as well. That's pretty much everything you're going to need for this entire fitment. It may vary if you have an aftermarket exhaust. In fact, the fitting might be a little bit easier if you have an aftermarket exhaust. The fitment I'm showing you today is with the completely standard exhaust setup for the Honda CB1000 Hornet. So let's jump straight to it. Now, our belly pan comes in 3 panels. You've got the 2 side panels and then the centerpiece. You've got a set of brackets that have some cage nuts pre-fitted to the brackets. So if you have a lift, that is going to help quite a lot. It being a belly pan, a lot of the fittings are underneath the bike on the bottom of the engine. So the very first thing you need to do is remove the oxygen sensor on the left-hand side of the bike. You can use a 17mm spanner to do this. We're only temporarily removing the oxygen sensor so we can actually reach one of the bolts we need to reach to fit the first bracket. Now, with the oxygen sensor removed, we can fit the first bracket to the bike. Now, there are 2 brackets included in this belly pan kit. You want the left-hand one, which can be identified with the small dot. The right-hand bracket has 2 dots, while the left-hand bracket has 1. So let's use this bracket first. And if I get low enough, I will try to highlight the 3 bolts that are in the engine that you will need to remove. You can use an 8mm socket to remove them or an 8mm spanner. And you will see that these 3 bottom holes on our bracket should line up perfectly. Take those 3 engine bolts out, pop the bracket in place, and then refit the same 3 engine bolts. Now, the bolt closest to the left-hand side you will be able to remove with a socket, but the other one that's in the middle just above the second O2 sensor, you'll probably need to use an 8mm spanner. Now, these engine bolts all want to be torqued to 9 Newton meters. Bolts like this, you're going to want to make sure you tighten up to their correct spec. So these 3 bolts, 9 Newton meters. This is how the first bracket should look once fitted. You've used those 3 mounting points there. You can now refit the O2 sensor. Remember to twist it a few times anti-clockwise so that when you thread it back into the slot, the wires are not all tangled up. That's the left-hand side sorted. We can move over to the right-hand side bracket now, which is a lot easier. Now, on the last bracket that's remaining, you will see that there are 1, 2, 3 bolts on the bottom of the engine here, and those are the 3 that we're going to remove, so this bracket can use these same mounting points with the same 3 bolts. Now, just like the other side, these 3 will want to be torqued to 9 Newton meters. That's the hard bit done. The next bit is to start attaching the belly pan panels. So we'll start off with the left-hand side with the first bracket we placed on. The assortment of bolts and fixings that you get with our belly pan. There are 6 bolts in our kit, 4 of which are short and 2 are long. You need 2 short ones and 1 long bolt per side. So get 2 of the short ones and 1 of the longer ones, and we can proceed to fit the left-hand side. You'll see that within the bracket that we fit, there are 3 cage nuts, here, here, and here. Now, the 2 shorter bolts are for these 2 holes here, and then the bolt that's slightly longer, you want to use for this mounting point here. Now, you'll only want to loosely fit it for now. Pop it through the bottom one first there. Let's get a couple of rotations, there we go. Now this top left-hand corner next, and then the slightly bigger one, which is a little bit more fiddly in this little hole round the side. That'll do for the time being. So we've got the 3 bolts in fairly loose, and we'll do the other side now. Same as the other side, use the 2 shorter bolts for the 2 on the side here, and then use a longer bolt for the mounting point just in there. Very straightforward. We have the left and the right hand side panels fitted now. It is time to install the centerpiece, which we have here. Now, provided in the kit are some little black pop rivets. These are what are to be used to connect the center panel to the side panels. So grab your centerpiece, feed it just over the headers. You might need to sort of move it. There we go. It should just gently slide into position down there. Now, we then use the black rivets to connect them in the 8 remaining rivet holes. Now, there is a specific order to do these in that makes it a little bit easier. So we're going to start with the top 2 holes, right at the top on the right, right at the top on the left. Now, make sure that the rivet hasn't expanded on the inner side, otherwise it's not going to go through the mounting points too easily. So from the outside, just push your rivet in and make sure that you feel it go through the same hole on the centerpiece on the other side. There we go. We can do the same on this other side now. So I'll feed it through the belly pan into the panel behind. And then don't do these 2 just yet. Do the ones on the bottom. You can't actually see this one very easily, so you'll have to do this by feel. There we go. We can see the 2 rivets at the bottom are now in. And now we can now do the remaining 4 at the front. So I'm going to do this one now. You can actually put your hand inside the belly pan to try and feel it from the other side. That helps quite a lot as well. And then the remaining 2 at the bottom. Those are the last ones, and it will keep it nice and secure. Once all the rivets are in, you can then push the middle bit in to secure the rivet and lock it into place. I'm just going to use the flat bit of a spanner to push it in, as it can be a little stiff, but it does mean that it's not going anywhere. There we go. There we go. With all 8 of the rivets in at the front, connecting all 3 panels together, we can now go around and fully tighten all of these 6 bolts that are holding the brackets to the belly pan. And then also included in our fitting kit are 6 bolt caps that you can place over the top of the bolt heads once they're fully tightened, just to tidy it up and make it look that little bit nicer. And there you go. That is how you fit our pyramid belly pan to the Honda CB1000 Hornet.